Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today we're going to do the review on the iPhone 15 Pro. I know I'm running late to this one, and I do apologize for that. I did do a 15 Pro Max. We did do a review on the blue one, but now here we are going to go with the 15 Pro. Expect very similar things. Everybody loves talking about these boxes. Oh my gosh, look at this box. It's amazing. Look at this. Oh, wait, same box as last year. Oh, why? Because it looks like the same phone from last year, which guess what? Everything's almost the same as last year. So when you start looking at the 15 Pro, you are looking at the 6.1 Super Retina XDR display. Guess what last year was on the iPhone 14 Pro? The same exact screen. Oh my gosh. So wait, what's the difference? Oh, here we go. We got titanium now. So this is gonna be the 15 Pro titanium with texture matte glass back. What? Matte glass back? That must be, no, that's not new either. The titanium is new, makes it a little bit lighter, but last year we had stainless steel with the texture matte glass back. But they did, change a few things on it, so hey, it's all right, Some people just have to go get the latest and greatest and move on with life, and you know what? Based off of some of the trade-ins, everything along the lines, and with some phone companies or the trade-in at Apple, it might be worth it to upgrade just to have a phone under warranty again. But this one is going to be the titanium, and by far, if you look at this, it's probably the sexiest color I have. And I am a blue guy, and I love the blue. But when you look at this one, I mean, that just looks sharp and slick. If you're used to the 14, then it's gonna be very similar on the looks. So you look on this side, like it's funny how they have not just figure this out and just make it nice and smooth. Like, why do you leave the notch there? This was where they used to put the old SIM back in the day when we used to pop SIMs in cars. Now everything's eSIM. Like, why not just make it smooth? Like, why still have this little notch? Doesn't make it right. Buttons will be the same on this side, but this is gonna have the new action button. I am not a fan of this action button. I don't like it. I constantly will hit it when it's in my pocket to take my phone off unmute, even though you press and hold it for a second. But it's kind of like, these two buttons, when sometimes you grab your phone, it will always take a snapshot of the screen. So for me, I'm just not a big fan of it. In the box, they're going with the new USB-C. Why are they doing this? Did Apple finally transform to industry standard? No, the EA mandated them, basically saying that, hey, all phones, we don't want people spending money on phones and then having to buy a special cable when everybody can be using the same type of schedule or same type of cable. Sorry, I messed up. So that's why Apple moved to this. And why create two different phones, one for the US and one for the overseas version? Too much headache. We all know that basically forecasting all that, based on that, it would be simple. Make one phone that works in all regions. That's why the US version is going to be the USB-C also. But a lot of Apple products already have USB-C. So if you look at the MacBooks, you look at their monitors, a lot of them already came with this. So this is not a new standard. It's new for the iPhone, but other than that, it's not. Also inside the box, you got paper. Look at that, you got this. You no longer need a physical SIM. Activate your eSIM during setup. Well, that only works if you have an iPhone going on an iPhone. But if you go Android, you got to call your providers to swap that out. And then you got this lovely Apple sticker, which, does anybody ever use this? If you have used this, put it in the comments. Because it's like, you cut everything back, but you want to include this Apple sticker. Like, what do you think? People can go slap this on everything when they go do it? I don't know why they still include this. Like, I've never, ever done anything with this sticker besides this right here. Put it right back in the box, which if I can get it in there, and then I'll put this little new card, activate with the eSIM, and then, yeah, ta-da! That's where my Apple sticker goes. What do you do with your Apple sticker? Do you do something else? Do you throw it in the box? Don't know. But other than that, I mean, we're looking at, you did this one, you do have the A17 versus the A16 chip. So it should be a little bit better on battery, a little bit faster. The camera they have done a little bit different. So on the 14 Pro last year was a 48 megapixel main. Then it had the super high resolution photos, and then it had your portrait mode with focus and depth control. This one has the 48 megapixel main. You have the ultra wide, the telephoto still. So all that's gonna be the same. The difference is a super high resolution photo. So you have a 24 megapixel and 48 megapixel in this one. Why last year's 14 Pro had just super high resolution photos at 48 megapixel. What does that mean to you in real life? It just means you should be able to take a little bit better pictures, and your zoom was actually should be better on this phone. So this zoom should be a tad better. You're gonna still have the same optics, so you still have the 0.5, 1x, 2x, 3x on the 15 Pro. The 15 Pro Max does have a different optical zoom. And then this is also gonna have the next generation portraits with focus and depth control. So they did improve the camera a little bit, but let's be honest, the camera is not groundbreaking. It's not like they did mass changes over last year. That's one thing that is, is kind of shocking about Apple. When you figure that, they come out with a phone very similar, but you figure they come out with a little bit better camera, because now people are starting to gravitate to more pictures. I want just to use my phone for everything along those lines. Video playback, you're looking at the same. Like I did say, you do have the USB-C versus the Lightning support. So what does that mean? You get 20 times faster transfers. Do you really get 20 times faster transfers? Like, we should time that. I will agree, yes, it's gonna be faster, but is it really gonna be 20 times? And if so, Apple, why did you slow me down for so many years with that slow Lightning cable when you could have been giving me the 20 times faster this entire time? Why are you trying to hold back this beast? If this is supposed to be the NASCAR of all cars, it's supposed to be the NASCAR that's going to win me the race all the time, and it's going to be the best phone on the market. Because that's how when they come out, they say, hey, this is the best. We have done this. We have done that. Nobody's ever done it, which is not true, because Apple is not the ones that really go out and change things. They just take what somebody else did and polish it up and make it a little bit better. You still have Face ID. They have not come out with fingerprint at all, which is interesting, because after COVID, you figure that a lot of companies will start doing more fingerprint. If you look at Androids have fingerprint and face unlock. They give you both options. So if you do wear a mask, it's a lot easier. If you wear sunglasses, you don't have to do that. Because how many times you're out there in the sun, you got your sunglasses on, and guess what? Your face unlock doesn't really work. And do you really want to set up a face unlock with glasses on? I bet you somebody could probably break that one. This has the super fast 5G cellular. Guess what? Last year's model had the same thing. Oh, even the iPhone. So, but yeah. Other than that, the MagSafe has MagSafe. Nothing else changed. Same terabytes. You got the 128 to 1 terabyte. So you got the 128, 256, 512, 1 terabyte option on this 15 Pro. It all depends on what you're doing and what you want. Again, when you go to the actual display, that is all gonna be the same. There's really not much changing from the 120 it goes up to the refresh rate up to 120 hertz, same. HDR display, same. You got your 2556 by 1179 pixel with your 460 PPI. Wow, guess what? Groundbreaker. It's the same. But wait, this one has a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. Oh wait, I have that on my 14 Pro. But wait, you got this nice button. Hey, that's a cool thing. Brightness, everything on those lines is gonna be the same. The thing where this actually, like I said, you got the button, you got more options now with this new, what they call the action button. And then the height of it has changed a little. So it's actually, this one actually is 5.77. The 14 Pro was 5.81. The width is just a tad. It's 2.78 versus 2.81. The depth is 0.32. But wait a second. Last year's, the depth was only 0.31. Yeah, that one gained a little, but that's all right. But the weight of it actually quite a bit. It is a lot lighter. It's a 6.6 ounces versus 7.27. I don't know if you're like me, but I travel a lot. I like going lighter in everything I do. You start looking at your splash, your water, and dust resistance. All that is going to actually be the same IP68. You do have the faster core, as we touched on, and like I said, when you start looking at the camera, the main's 48 megapixels, ultra wide is 12, and the telephoto is 12. And guess what? It's identically the same to last year's specs, which is really disappointing. When you look at that, your optical zoom is going to be the same, but this one does have more adapted true tone flash. So pictures you take should be better. If you're taking any pictures of color, you should get a truer tone of color. I have not tested that version out on this yet, so I don't know. You have the smart HDR5 for photos, while last year was the 4. But cameras are going to be very similar to last year. I would not expect anything groundbreaking when you're taking pictures. Same thing when you start looking at videos. This does have log video recording and an Academy color encoding system. That's really the main difference when we start looking at the video that this one has that the last year's 14 Pro does not have. And this is probably one of the most disappointing things when you start looking at this camera is it has a true depth front camera, 12 megapixel, 1.9 aperture, retina flash. It's identically the same thing as last year's model. The only difference is you got your HDR5 for photos. Wow, groundbreaking. You could come out with a phone every year. You got to start changing what you're doing. And you need to start, I would like to see Apple start leading the market versus lagging behind on what they do. But don't get me wrong, they give you a great polished product. You cannot beat what you get out of an Apple product. It works. And your apps are actually a lot of times smoother, better. You get more options in the app. There's a lot of great things about the iPhone. I'm not bashing it. It is made for a lot of people. There's a reason why almost 60% of the market is using this phone is because it just works. And it works good. And it works with any other Apple products. And so the ecosystem, like everybody's like, the blue bubbles. I wish they would, people complain about so much about the texting on an iPhone, how they use older technology and they're not using the latest, greatest texting technology that your Androids use. And I get it. And the Android people are upset like, oh, I wish Apple would be up to date. Why? When you own almost 60% of the market and you lead and control that market, why do you need a change unless the people that are buying your product tells you to change? So you want Apple to go to later texting technology? Guess what? Move to Android. Start making their market shrink. Start giving that. That's how you get a company change. Not crying because when Android sends a picture to an iPhone, it actually gets shrunk down where you can barely see it. It's very pixelated out there. That's not a good reason why to complain. So Android people, I'm with you. I like Android. I love iPhone. I actually love them both. Doesn't matter. When you own the market share, you do what you want, and there's a reason why you lead the market. And Samsung will never take the market away from iPhone. Why? Because they're bloatware. It's slow, it's sluggish. They have to do they do their Bixby versus Google Assistant, which really some of the best AI out there is actually made by Google. Everybody knows this. Some of the best maps out there made by Google. Actually, the best maps out there are made by Google. Heck, even the iPhone started using Google again for their searches and stuff because they learn what? Let's just stick with the winner. And they learn, and they go back. And so they know what's out there and what's better. We know what's out there that's better. But again, you cannot demand for somebody to change because you want them to. The market dictates what a company does. And when Apple makes 30% margin on everything they sell, and you can go look at their stock earnings, you go read their reports, you're going to see everything, there's a reason why. And they're not going to change just because some Android people are complaining about how they wish Apple would change. You want Apple to change? Newsflash. I'm talking to you, Google, out there, because if I'm moving from this phone, where am I going to go, Android? I'm going to go to Google Pixel. But guess what? It's not as slick and easy to use. It's jaded, has some outdated software in there, even though they lead in AI doing that. But hey, you know what? I don't want to get on an Android rant. This is about the unboxing of the iPhone. At the end of the day, this is a beast. This is a beast that's going to work for you. Do not expect a lot of changes. You did get Wi-Fi 6E, so if you do have Wi-Fi 6 in the house that you're using or your work has it, you will get faster Wi-Fi speeds on here. I've actually, on my 15 Pro Max, I have noticed actually I get almost 100 megabits faster than I did on my 14 Pro Max. This does have the second generation ultra wideband chip. Again, going back to the Wi-Fi 6 E, the Bluetooth is going to be the same technology. Like I said, there's not a lot of changes along those that you're going to see when it comes in that department. When you look at, security is going to have the same thing. You're going to have Apple Pay on this. You have the island up here. But other than that, I mean, it's a great phone. This is probably the slickest color that's actually out there, even though the blue is pretty nice and sexy too when you look at it. And you know what? I would encourage you, to go get this phone. So if you're running off of a 13, 12, or anything later, it's time to upgrade. And the reason why, why would I upgrade? My 13 Pro, I'm happy with it because they give you crazy amounts of cash right now to upgrade. And some places are offering $1,000 trade-in if you have an iPhone 12 or 13. Get rid of it, get a phone under warranty, move up in technology. That's why you do it, because it's going to cost you a couple $100 extra at the end of the day. And that's why I would do it. Because if you had Apple Care and you had an iPhone 12, guess what? Apple Care is only for a few years. Well, they did come out where you start buying it monthly and extend longer than 2 years, which is kind of cool. But anyways, hey, one thing I'm going to ask for everybody that watched my video, if you could subscribe, that'd be clicking down here, which is, I'm pointing straight down on this side, which means when you're looking at it, or maybe it's this side, I don't know, one of these sides where it says subscribe. I really appreciate if you subscribe. All my reviews are real. All my reviews are raw. I don't actually go out there and do this nice thing. I don't take retakes. What you get when I mess up, which I have in this video as you heard, that's it. That's what you're gonna get from me. I'm a true technologist. I love phones. I do this to give you the real experience as I would want them. And maybe you hate that. Maybe you want something a little bit more polished. I don't know. You're more welcome to leave comments. But everything I'm gonna give you is real, raw. I'm not gonna bash Android, and I'm not gonna bash iPhone. I will tell you the true differences between the two phones for you to make the best decision, what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, they both make great phones. And depending on what you're looking for in your life, you're doing it. And there's a reason why, I'll touch on this one last time, why Apple has almost 60% of the share in the United States. The reasoning is it works. It's easy. When I go store photos on here, I can sort by alphabetizing my albums. Guess what? You can't do that on Android. An app on the iPhone versus an app on the Android is not always exactly the same. You lose some functionality sometimes. This, if you travel a lot, guess what? You can easily save your boarding pass to your Apple Wallet. A lot of the Android apps, you don't have that option. So when you're looking for something that's just easy to use, that's why people use iPhones. It's easy. It's very user-friendly. If you don't like change, guess what? You get the same thing. Hey, this is almost the same thing as last year's model. So you're gonna get almost exactly the same thing you got last year. That's why you're using, if you have a MacBook, the ease of transitioning a photo to your laptop or desktop is so easy. You can text from either one. I can actually be browsing on this and pull up my Mac, and then guess what? I can start going right there in my Safari thing and just take over where my phone was, vice versa. So it's, if I cut and paste on my iPhone, I can actually, if I copy something on my iPhone, I can actually paste it using my Mac. There's a reason why they have 60% of the market. And I love the ads that Google done. If you haven't seen these, Pixel iPhone best friends made by Google. Go out there and watch them. They are hilarious. And they take multiple jabs at the iPhone. But guess what, Google? You own less than 3% of the market. Whatever you say doesn't really matter. You want more market? Do more things and be more friendly like your iPhone. Make your products better. Because this product, it's just awesome. It works. You plug in your power cord, you don't get these little rainbows of pixel effects going up. So yeah. Well, anyways, this is the unboxing. Like I said, there's nothing else in here besides the things. Nice color, got multiple colors in here. You got the white, you got the natural. This is the natural. You got the blue. Got many options in the color. By all means, if you don't know which one you want before you order your phone, go to the Apple Store. Apple stores are almost in every single city out there. But this is by far a sexy and beautiful phone. Again, please subscribe. Any feedback you leave, I take it. Whether you love it, hate it. Hey, if you hate me, you hate my reviews, go ahead and say it. It's a free world. My feelings don't get hurt. It's okay. You know? Just leave your honest, candid feedback. And like I said, please subscribe. Have a great day.